if they have 2.5, 3 sacks as a team on Brady, say they get to 3, it's a different game. You can't have Brady take you apart like he did against the Chiefs. Those guys have to make an impact in this game.
I didn't even think about this until just now. I think they have to have 2 personal foul calls, like 15-yarders against Brady. Like, they've been talking about him crying. I almost feel like this is the type of game where you have to send a message, like in the first and second quarter, the first half, hit him a couple times where it's a little past the whistle. Like, let him know you're around. Like, get those knockdowns, get those hits on him, make him aware that you're coming after him.
Right, and they were better against Roethlisberger in that game. But if you look at their losses, this year, it's the least, and it's not even just sack numbers. 3 of their 4 losses had their lowest pressure percentage numbers of this defense against any of the opposing quarterbacks. But you're not going to get a flag. You think you're going to get a flag on Brady for crying?
No, I'm saying you're going to take a hit. You're going to hit him late. And you're going to get a flag called on you for hitting him late.
You want
to. Yeah, it's one of those games.
Coordinator?
Yeah, where you're like in the first half, you know what? If it's close, you can get a good. Now, I'm not saying dirty, like, but questionable.
So on the edge.
Yeah, you got to push the envelope. Like, I would almost challenge them, like, be like, you know what? If you get a 15-yarder, no big deal. In the first half, like, draw a line somewhere, but say we have to send a message.
Cougar, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How you been?
Good. It's been a couple weeks. Feel like it's been like a month.
I know. It's been a couple weeks because you were traveling.
Yep. Last week was the only week we didn't do it.
Oh, really? Well, then with Christmas, I think, or New Year or something.
So we really haven't thrown in many of the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, we got to get back on track.
I know.
It's tough this time, though, because it seems like you travel a little bit heavy this time.
Yep.
Then we've got occasional snowstorms.
Yep. Something's going to throw us off.
Yeah, and then someone gets sick.
Yep. Someone's kid's sick. Paisley's puking or Luke's puking.
Yeah, but we're back at it, and we've got a lot to cover. We were just talking about what we were going to discuss, and I mentioned how we're probably going to be football heavy,
hey,
rightfully so.
Side note, the Clippers jerseys are starting to grow on me.
The black ones?
Yeah.
What do they have, just like the LAC
yeah,
or something?
that new logo they have.
Yeah, it's the NBA's getting more creative with the color matching.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They go away versus away sometimes. I think somebody last night, I think it was the Cavaliers, were on the road last night. And they were wearing maroon.
Yeah.
Somebody was wearing yellow for away.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the Lakers are yellow
for
home.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, NBA on TNT, Clippers and Cavs going at it right now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Retirement party Sunday at 3:00. And let me just say something too, because it's very easy with sports media, like to copycat what people say. You watch ESPN, MLB Network, Fox Sports, and then we get on this podcast and we regurgitate what they say.
Yeah.
I just want to make a full disclaimer. I do not watch ESPN. I do not watch SportsCenter. I do not go to ESPN.com. I do not watch anything on ESPN.
Yep.
So if I'm repeating something that ESPN is talking about, then shame on me. But also, I don't have MLB Network. And I don't even have Fox Sports. I can watch Fox Sports 1, but I don't watch that anymore.
Not much going on there.
So all of my hot takes are strictly my hot takes.
Okay.
And if I'm accidentally repeating something you heard, then I'm sorry.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
It's them taking takes from you.
Exactly. They're secretly listening to this. But we had 19 views on our last podcast. Almost got to 20.
Someone out there's got to watch it twice for me.
So I was at work this morning, and in the copy room, there was a sign above the copier that said retirement party.
Yep.
You're invited, 3:00 on Sunday, hosted by Brady and Belichick.
Yep.
Maybe it's online, maybe it's viral. But it said RSVP to Julian, so I thought it was pretty clever. But it got me thinking about, like, let's cut to the chase, right? this Sunday could be Peyton Manning's retirement party, courtesy of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. How sweet would that be?
Isn't that just a fitting way for him to go out?
Isn't the way it's supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that that's the way it's supposed to happen?
It would sum up his career to a T.
It would.
You know.
Now, so to me, I agree. It would sum up his career to a T. But it would also sum up his career in a T if he throws 2 picks, 210 yards, and they rush for 4 touchdowns and win.
Yeah.
And he makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The guy threw, 9 touchdown passes this year, 17 interceptions.
I heard a stat that Tom Brady threw more touchdown passes in Denver this year
3-1
than Peyton Manning did. And Tom Brady's only played 1 game. And that game he didn't have Julian Edelman, no Danny Amendola.
Yeah.
Got hurt. I'm going to start by saying I don't hate Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Meaning, I don't,
I hate Peyton Manning.
Okay.
He used to not bother me, and as I've watched him,
Why?
I think he's in it for the wrong reason. I don't think he's in it to win a Super Bowl. He's in it for the records. I don't think he's a coachable guy. I think the Tony Dungy teams.
Do you think his biggest problem now is that he hasn't identified his problems personally, physically?
I think
he
he's
wants
too
to.
stubborn.
He's too stubborn, and he has to do it his way, and he's got to throw, and he's got to do this. Where if he just sat back and said, "Hey, we can win if I throw every once in a while and we run the ball, then we'd be more successful."
Yeah. Did you watch the game against the Steelers?
I did.
Steelers?
I did.
His body language.
Yeah.
Just watching that game, he looked like somebody kicked his puppy.
Yeah.
Every time he'd put incomplete pass or they didn't get a first down, he'd put his head down and walk over to the side. And I was watching the game, and to myself, I thought, this guy does not deserve to be in the AFC Championship game. And, so a couple scenarios that could play out Sunday.
Yep.
Pats walk all over him.
Yep.
Probably won't happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
If they win, it will be close.
Yep.
Maybe they pull away at the end, they score at the end, whatever. Manning stays in, plays the game, does nothing special, ordinary game. The thing I'm a little bit nervous about is Manning getting yanked.
Yeah.
Osweiler going in and giving them that spark.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Broncos are going to rally behind Manning and be like, this is his last hurrah. But I feel like if they take Manning out, whether he just stinks or he gets hurt,
Yep.
I feel like Osweiler will. He's a completely different quarterback, isn't he? Right now, at that point in the career, isn't Osweiler and Manning?
You would think so, just physically.
So I'm just thinking defensively. If you're the Patriots, I don't. It's the only thing that makes me nervous is them switching halfway through. But
I would think it's got to get pretty bad for them to pull Peyton. No.
You think so?
No. I guess.
So what's really bad?
Well,
The Kansas City Chiefs game, what was that 4 picks or something?
Yeah, but I guess my thing is when you're pulling it. Let's say he's thrown 2 picks. When you're pulling him, he throws 2 picks. I'm willing to bet you might already be down 17-0. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They're not going to pull him if he's thrown 2 picks and they're down 10-7.
Yeah.
That's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I guess I feel like if they pulled him, it'd be too late.
Yeah. How do you see Sunday's game playing out?
I don't think you can count on Peyton Manning throwing 3 to 5 picks in a game.
Yeah.
So here, if I'm a Broncos fan, here's my number one concern. If you get down 14-0, 17-0, 17-3, in order for them to score, they've got to methodically go down the field.
Yeah.
Right? That's going to be your problem.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
Same with the running game.
Yeah. The Patriots are going to say, hey, right now, we want Peyton Manning to beat us deep. We'll take away everything, 5 to 10 yards, and we're gonna force him to beat us deep, which he can't do.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be similar to last week in the sense of you look back in last week and it was never a blowout, but you never really felt like the Patriots were going to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even though they won 27-20, you never really got the feeling that the Chiefs were going to.
They had it in hand. The Chiefs weren't moving the ball.
No, and they would take time. They were huddling with 1:10 left, and the clock was running.
Down two touchdowns.
Down 2 touchdowns. Now the Broncos won't do that, but I don't think it's going to be easy because I think the Broncos defense is for real.
Really?
I do.
So you think the two big factors, right? We'll take Manning out of the equation, but playing in Denver.
Yep.
And then Denver's defense.
Weird stuff happens in Denver sometimes too. It's not an easy place to play.
No, and what
Brady's like 2-6 in Denver.
Yeah.
It's just it's not going to be easy, but I think they win.
We talked about this, I think, the last podcast, maybe the podcast before that too. But you get, and I talked to Adam about it because I went over to his house for the game.
Yep.
And he brought up the fact that we talked about how it never gets old.
Yeah.
And it's all. Not only does it never get old to see the Patriots in an AFC Championship game, 5th year in a row. It's amazing. Got to enjoy it.
15
Got
years.
to enjoy it while we can. But it always seems like there's a new twist.
Yep.
It's something we haven't seen before. We've seen Brady Manning before, but have we ever seen Brady Manning where one of them is the worst quarterback in the league?
Yep.
Like it's there's so many side stories and so it's just different.
Yeah.
And baseball, basketball for me, I love the Celtics, I love the Sox. I'm a big Pats fan. When the Pats start to suck,
Yep.
will I watch them? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably. But when the Pats get to this point, I want them to win so bad because there's so many haters.
Yep.
Against the Patriots across the country that I just want them to win so bad.
Because you just know it just
yeah,
irks everyone the wrong way.
I want that 2-week build up to the Super Bowl. I want that sports radio week, where they're having all the random guests.
Yep.
And I want to get excited for the Super Bowl because if the Broncos win and they go to the Super Bowl, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
So it's funny, more than ever, probably these last 4 or 5 years, the build up to the Super Bowl, awesome when your team's in it.
Annoying as hell.
Miserable when your team, just unbearable.
Yes.
Just unbearable.
It's insane, right?
I'll be the first to admit I didn't even watch the full game of the Ravens 49ers.
Neither did
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
How about the Broncos Seahawks 45-8?
They got down. I'm like, okie dokie, yeah.
Unbelievable.
This is over.
That's something that doesn't get a lot of play either. The Seahawks absolutely embarrassing Peyton Manning and the Broncos. I mean,
was bad.
granted,
You know what it's funny? I remember about that one is, the big argument with whether it be the Patriots or Brady is always the 2 losses. So would you you take Montana? Montana won 4 times and won all 4 times. What's better, going 4 times and winning 4 times, or going 6 times winning 4, but you also have 2 losses?
And what if those 2 losses were on last second plays?
Yeah.
As opposed to getting your doors blown off.
So that's the point. So I remember, the Patriots go to Denver. They only lose by 10 that year, or 10 or 9. But it was one of those games where they weren't going to win it. Denver was just doing enough to get first, blah blah blah, and then they play the Seahawks. And I remember sitting there watching. I'm like, God, I'm so glad the Patriots aren't playing. They would have gotten absolutely destroyed because it was just the Seahawks' day. It was their, and you looking back, it was their year. And you remember sitting there, I'm like, God, I'm kind of glad that they lost in the AFC Championship game because this would have been ugly.
Yeah.
Because you remember you had no Gronkowski. He was done for the year. Edelman wasn't really Edelman yet, So.
I tell you what, though, the Patriots, for that group being together,
Yeah.
I think one of the first things I said to Adam was imagine if Deion Lewis was healthy.
Absolutely.
Because they came out, forget the run,
You know what?
pass, and the only thing that made me real nervous was that last freaking pass of the game.
that popped up, yeah.
Holy crap. Talk
Yeah.
about luck being on your side.
Well, that's what I loved about it is you really, the week that was, Gronkowski was supposedly hurt. Edelman hadn't played yet. The offensive line was a mess. Brady's ankle was hurt. And
completely forgot about Brady's ankle.
And what do? They come out, no huddle, shotgun, no back. Literally no running. They might not have activated running backs.
I think Steven Jackson had a few carries.
Yeah, but but the point is they
just
it was I just enjoyed watching it because they're like, hey, this is how we're going to win, and if we're not going to win this way, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They came, and I loved it. They went no backs, they went shot, and they went no huddle too. And I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
and that's when it. But it's amazing. You sit now and you're like, man, they're clicking on all cylinders. Really, it's only been 1 week.
They look good. They look like a well-oiled machine. I am so intrigued by Sunday's game. It can't get here soon enough. It sucks because it's Sunday at 3, which means, your weekend's over. You got to go back to work Monday. But I don't care. Like, I want to go to bed, wake up Sunday, and just watch the game.
Yeah.
Because I hope they win. I really do. And we don't have to talk about Super Bowl matchups. But, I mean, it's not – they win on Sunday. It ain't getting – unless somehow Arizona decides to beat Carolina.
Yep.
Whoever ends up playing Carolina is going to have a lot – well, let's talk Carolina for a second. Did you watch the Seahawks-Panthers game at all?
I did. I did watch a little bit of it.
So Panthers were up 21-0, I think, by the end of the first quarter.
Yep.
If not
31-0 at half.
31-0 at half. They end up winning 31-24.
Yep.
That happened against the Giants with the Panthers. I understand it. You go up real big. You're blowing your opponent out, and you take your foot off the gas pedal.
Yep.
And what do you think? Like, what's your takeaway from that game? Was that just too big of a lead and they got lazy? The play calls were crappy. Did they tighten up? Are the Panthers?
I don't think they tightened up. Well,
Seattle get off to a slow start because they got off to a slow start.
I don't know if Seattle forgot they're on East Coast time or whatever, but no, I think it's a legitimate concern if you're the Panthers. They were up huge to the Giants.
Yes.
35-7, I believe. Came back to tie at 35-35. They've done that multiple times this year.
Yeah.
They did it to the Colts, I remember watching on Monday Night Football. It wasn't that big, but they were up 24-7, and they ended up tying it going in overtime. The Panthers ended up winning, but it kind of signals a team that hasn't really been there for me. They're good. They could be in the Super Bowl, but can they finish?
Yeah.
That's the concern.
So is that a product of the players? Or is that the coaches? What is that? Is it? I'm tending more towards the side of the Panthers coaches.
The
coaches
coaches have acknowledged it.
Yeah.
We've got to fix it, but it seems like they're not doing anything to fix it.
Do the Panthers scare you though? If the Patriots end up winning Sunday and Arizona, loses to Carolina, Panthers pass Super Bowl, do the Panthers scare you? Does Cam Newton scare you?
No, but at the same time, I think it's because I haven't really paid a ton of attention to him.
Yeah. I can't get a good read on Cam Newton. A lot of showboating.
It's the same thing. The first half, he looked like the best quarterback ever. The second half, they didn't get past half field.
In the second half, I saw there were signs of him coming to the sideline, yelling at his coaches. Mm-hmm. Not good composure at all.
Yeah,
and he strikes me as the type of guy that when going's good,
he's the best.
He's the best teammate.
Yeah.
He's happy. He's smiling. But as soon as things aren't going his way, he pouts. He cries. He reminds me a lot of LeBron.
Yeah.
No one's ever said no to him.
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. And I just feel like when they haven't had too much adversity this year, right? What, one loss?
One loss, and really they had already had everything locked up, so they were really only playing for the perfect year. It wasn't like it ruined any. They already had the number 1 seed and everything locked up. So
I'd like to. It wouldn't surprise me if at the end of the weekend your Super Bowl matchup is Broncos Cardinals, and I say that just because the matchups almost seem too one-sided.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know more so the Cardinals and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Panthers.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Panthers at home against Arizona. I don't know if I can take Arizona.
Lead up to the games like these makes me want to just. I feel like I get so you just hear so many people talking so great about the Patriots, and you just get so people are saying they're going to blow them out, they're going to do this. You don't just get to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
They don't just let you go to the AFC. So you've got to have talent. I can't see the Patriots putting up 45 points this weekend.
Really?
No.
Okay. It's a funny game. It's like anything, right? First drive, first quarter.
Yep.
Someone goes down. Some team gets a big break and they get a pass interference call
Absolutely.
on 3rd and long. And it's just all it takes. Look at the last time they played in Denver.
Well, and I was just going to say, Broncos, if I remember correctly, Broncos get the ball to start the game, 3 and out, punt. Patriots, boom, 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 7-0. You stop them there, you give Brady the ball back with now all of his weapons.
Yeah.
If you're down 14-0 with that offense early.
So the I'm not super nervous just because the first time, and we're back to Pat's Broncos, but that first time in Denver, that game was the Pats were in control up until the muffed punt by what was it, Harper?
Yep.
And once that happened, everything changed.
Yeah.
But then you remember too, I think the Broncos took the lead.
They did, and he had to drive them down to kick a
field goal. And they broke free in overtime, and I think I don't even remember who rushed for the touchdown. C.J. Anderson.
I could be wrong though. Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm excited. It's Manning Brady. It's Deflategate against Papa John's, HGH, which that story just went away, which is amazing to me. I want follow-ups. I want Ryan Howard, Ryan Zimmerman. Are you gonna sue? Are you gonna really sue for defamation?
Or you're just talking about it?
Yeah, where are the follow-ups?
Yeah.
Can I also go somewhere where I shouldn't go, but I'm gonna do it anyways? And I'm not gonna comment one way or another. I'm just gonna point something out. All the teams that were involved in Deflategate last year, the Ravens, the Colts, Andrew Luck misses almost the whole season. The Ravens are finished last in the league. If not, Joe Flacco goes down.
He tears his ACL.
Yeah, a lot of bad.
Terrell Suggs blows out his Achilles.
Yeah, a lot of bad things happen to those guys.
Karma.
And Chris Mortensen. I'm not not saying anything one way or another. I don't wish upon my worst enemy.
Yep.
But all I'm saying is I don't even know if I believe in karma.
Yeah.
And with Mortens, the thing with Mortensen too was when he sent that tweet out.
Yeah.
And he was given wrong information.
Yep.
His source either lied to him.
Yep.
Do I think Mortensen? See, here's where it gets a little blurry. Did Mortensen know he was being lied to?
I don't think so.
And still tweeted it?
I don't think so.
So I just don't understand why you just don't send a tweet out saying, or delete it.
Well,
why do you double down and stand by it?
Just say you were wrong. Everyone's wrong.
You got to admit,
you take
accountability.
Some of the best reporters, whatever, has been wrong every once in a while, or hey, my sources weren't correct.
Yeah. But they're dropping like flies, I think, and it's just everybody associated with.
You know what my concern with Mortensen is when he put the statement out. Usually, they say, this is 100% treatable. They say it's in his early stages. He didn't say anything like that.
No.
I'm a little worried that
stage 4 too is.
I didn't even know what stage, but
stage 4, which I don't think there goes any higher. So
yeah, on a personal level, I just did the way he put it out there. Usually they say, if it's early, hey, I got this early, it's very treatable, He didn't say any of that stuff. I'm like, man, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, and the response from his colleagues was kind of like,
yeah,
hey,
someone had I don't remember who it was, but they said something like, God, he doesn't look right on television.
Yeah,
he looked a little tired. And you don't watch ESPN. I don't watch a ton of it. I'm more into the Disney Junior at 9 a.m. with my daughter. But so I didn't really notice it. But someone had mentioned he looked tired. He looked a little weaker. Which it's sad.
Yeah, you don't wish it upon your worst.
Isn't
enemy.
it crazy how you see it and you're like, oh God, because we've been bashing him for months and now this happens and you're like, Jesus.
not gonna. It is what it is, and it's not funny how it's all. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah,
and everybody related to that seems to be whatever. While we're on the topic, though, Bob Ryan, he lost a lot of weight, too.
Did he?
I don't know if you've seen him on
I have not, no.
CSN New England, but I know he stepped away from the Globe for a little while, so maybe we don't have to play a game who's sick and who's not sick.
Yeah.
But anyways, so big weekend in football, going to determine who's going to the Super Bowl. Any other thoughts on the games, the playoff games? I know last time we podcasted, it was, I think the week. They hadn't started yet.
It was going into Wild Card Weekend.
Going into Wild Card Weekend. So any takeaways, any thoughts, any surprises? I mean, the Bengals losing, did that surprise you?
No, not at all. The way they lost,
Can we talk about Pac-Man Jones and his hit on Antonio Brown?
he didn't hit him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The other guy.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah. Pac-Man Jones said he was faking
Yeah,
it and then
yeah.
apologized via Instagram. But that was a nasty play.
Yes.
And not knowing what happened the week before, I don't know if you saw the video. What was the guy's name? Perfect?
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Perfect. The week before, he laid a guy out.
Yeah.
The guy just listen. Football's a violent sport. I've
Yep.
never played it, and I don't. I'm going to do everything I can to not let Luke play it.
Yep.
Just because I just think it's a violent sport. But you I understand you want to tackle people and you want to, but when you intentionally try to truly injure somebody, you shouldn't only be suspended. You should go get a mental health check, shouldn't you? What drug are you on?
So when I watched that live, that absolute meltdown of a final minute and a half, and everyone, and he said he went in with his shoulder in regards to the penalty. Right or wrong, if you go anywhere near the head, if it looks bad,
if you launch yourself
and it looks bad, even if you don't hit them, they are going to call it, no matter what.
Yep.
If that means you avoid it, then avoid it. But even if you hit him with his shoulder and you didn't, if you get anywhere within here and it looks bad, they are going to call it 100% of the time.
And you just drew a circle around your head and for the people
shoulders. It is what it is. People, it's and you hear, oh, it's getting soft. Well, it's been the NFL for years, and it's going to get called. It's the bottom line. And whether it was dirty or not, it's going to get called. We see it all the time, and they're gonna call that.
I thought it was funny or entertaining how people thought he was faking it.
Yeah.
That guy got hit, and you can tell it's a concussion or a bad concussion.
Yeah.
When you hit the ground in your arms.
Well, the other thing is if you watched it in slow motion, he was limp.
Yeah.
As he was twisting in the air.
Limp, falls to the ground, and he sticks his arms up, and that's instant sign of that guy is done.
Yeah.
He go wake him up.
Yeah.
And for a few, even I think Felger on the radio was I don't totally disagree. But then okay, so let's even get a little deeper. To have that happen, and then for Dan Patrick to have Pac-Man Jones on the next day,
what are you doing?
And then to give him the open forum to say that this guy's faking it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I thought that was embarrassing. But okay, so then part of that game too was, there was a 15-yard penalty for that.
So this is what I told. So you get a 15-yard penalty for that,
and they're tending to Antonio Brown, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it gets them to the Bengals 40-yard line. So that's
almost
still
a field goal.
That's
almost.
a 55-yard field goal in the rain.
Yeah.
Then you get the.
So while they're tending to an injured player, right? Or was it the next play? Or
no, it was while they're.
So players and coaches, you have a coach from Pittsburgh,
Joey Porter,
who used to play, on the field, instigates it.
Yep.
Pac-Man Jones retaliates and pokes him or punches him or does something, and the ref throws a flag on Pac-Man Jones at another 15 yards, turns into essentially a 30-yard penalty.
Yep.
I thought that was weird. If you're a coach.
He shouldn't have been on the field.
He shouldn't have been on the field. And if you're how do you why don't you throw a penalty on both sides?
I don't
Why
know.
are you throwing a penalty on the Bengals? But
weird.
I thought that was a mess. I also love Ben Roethlisberger coming out and just laying all of his injuries out on the table.
He does that all the time. Hey, guys, I'm really hurt. So when I win, just remember how banged up I was.
Yeah, it's I have some torn ligaments in my shoulder.
The first play of the Steelers-Broncos game, did you see it?
He threw it 50 yards down the field.
He gets under center. He play actions and just lets it fly. He doesn't have a receiver within 15 yards, kind of to say, hey, fellas, I can throw it deep. And it's he let it go. I'm he's just trying to prove that he can throw it deep. And it was.
I'm going to show these guys. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
Gives the shoulder a little, loosen it up a little bit. Cracks me up. It really does. And what I was thinking, too, in the car was all these big-time quarterbacks like the Peyton Mannings, Tom Brady's, Brett Favre's.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger. There's always some type of story or stigma associated with these guys.
Yep.
Brett Favre, it was the dick pic.
Yep.
Right?
Well, he had drug problems. Too.
Drug
Yeah.
problems. You had Roethlisberger with the alleged rape in the
Raping,
bathroom. You have Brady with the air pressure in the footballs, which compared to the other two, then you have Peyton Manning now with some HGH.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Can you think of anything else? Was it McDonovan McNabb? Granted, it was post his career.
Yeah.
Arrested for DUI like once or twice.
Yep. I think he did some jail time, like a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Marino, I don't remember anything.
He cheated on his wife at CBS.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he was sleeping with one of the behind the camera women or something.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it Russell Wilson. I don't know if Russell Wilson, if he's done anything wrong.
I think he dated Rihanna. That might be wrong.
Cam Newton. I don't know.
Cam Newton had the thing in college.
Oh, yeah, that's
we got
right.
Paid to go to Auburn.
Yeah.
Rather than Mississippi State.
He also flipped his truck last year. Remember that?
Yep.
Nothing really happened. Like, you just flipped your truck. Like, I don't.
He hurt his back, too, and he was out a week, and then he was playing.
I feel like there was more to that story, too, but it just got brushed aside. But it's funny to pick and choose. The other thing that cracks me up is just I think this news media and this reporting is getting out of control.
Yep.
So I have the EEI app on my phone, and if I open it up, which, by the way, if anyone else has the WEEI app, let me know if after 10 p.m. it doesn't open.
Tight budget, man.
10:01 p.m.
Yeah.
I go to open it. It opens and closes real quick.
Really?
Every night for the last 2 years. It actually had a survey pop up once and said, give us feedback on the app.
Yeah.
And I was like, it doesn't open after 10 p.m. And they haven't fixed it. And there's so many typos and errors in their stories, which drives me nuts. But the news stories on these, like the headlines, like TMZ Sports says there was no accident.
Yeah.
What was it?
Fleming, yeah.
Fleming. Ben Volen doing some investigative reporting. Hey, guys, listen, I checked, and there's no report of an accident. Like, who'd you talk to? Like, the front desk receptionist?
That's exactly what he did.
What you're going to run with that? Like, this guy kicked in a window. Oh, but the car wasn't on fire. Okay, the airbag
Still deployed.
And thought it was on fire. Who cares? It's just these news stories nowadays just seem...
Everyone's trying to get it right. They try and do it too quick.
No, they don't try and get it right. They try to get it
out there as quick.
Get it out first,
Yeah.
and then they just end up backtracking, and it's like trying to put a good headline out there so people click on the link, and that's all it's become. And being a journalist and being a reporter used to be like a pride, like the Tom Verducci, man. Like you put guys who have been at this craft forever and have worked at it and have a good reputation, and you have like these new guys coming in who are just like making a mockery of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know, it weirds me out sometimes, but the Fleming thing was funny.
So, I guess, maybe it's a sign of the times, but there's a story that comes out that he does this. Why do we have to investigate it? Like, why do we have to find out if he's wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you just take a word? Like, why do we have to prove everyone wrong when something good happens?
It's always you're exactly right. Something comes out and there's somebody out there going,
that didn't happen.
Ooh, let me look into that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nope, that story was slightly off.
Yeah.
So so anyways, the weekend Super Bowl 50, Big 5-0. I want nothing more than the Patriots to win on Sunday. And then, if the Panthers beat the Cardinals and it's Panthers-Patriots, then all hands on deck. I have confidence that Belichick
Give him 2 weeks.
will be able to control Newton.
Keep him in the pocket. Make him throw.
Yeah, Greg Olsen. But I think people, to start the season, the Patriots' offense was so loaded. Well-oiled machine. People got hurt. They were off track for a few weeks. They're all back now.
Yeah.
And I think that offense is going to be really tough to stop.
Yep.
But switching gears, let's bounce over to basketball. A lot of NBA I want to talk about. The Celtics are making me look bad right now. They're not exactly the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, but
I believe they have an 8 seed. I looked today.
the 8th through like 4 or 5 through 8.
They're a 3-game winning streak away from having home court the first round.
No,
Yeah.
I predicted they would be the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference.
They could still do that.
They could still do it. It's just like the game in Dallas the other night. Or was it last night or the night before?
A couple nights ago, yeah.
They got to win those games, right? Like, I'm sorry, Dallas. They played Toronto.
Yeah.
Whether it was last night or the night before. Before that was Dallas. Like, you've got to win those games to end. To get where you need to be, you've got to win those games. And
I think I texted you. I said you can't sit here and be disappointed with the Celtics.
yeah,
But don't you feel like they haven't developed the way you thought they would?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought I was confident enough in them where I had them pegged as a 4 seed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought they were good enough to be a 4 seed. So
Yeah.
I guess, maybe. I don't know. The NBA's been interesting this year because I don't know if you caught any of it the other night, but the Cavaliers hosted the Warriors.
And just got
At one point in the late in the game, the Warriors were up by 43 points. So you've got the best of the West versus the best of the East, a finals rematch.
Yep.
And the Cavaliers on their home court are getting beat by over 40 points.
And then the Warriors went to Chicago, the number 2 seed, and won by like 35.
And did you see the video of Harrison Barnes? I'm not even joking. The Warriors got a rebound.
Yep.
2 of their guys were tying their shoe. No, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. So you have one guy get a rebound. 2 of the guys are tying their sneakers. So that's 3 guys.
Yep.
The 4th guy hasn't made it past half court yet.
Yep.
Harrison Barnes is the only one on the other side of the court
Yep.
with 5 Chicago Bulls players.
Yep.
He did not pull it out. He did not wait for his team to get to him. He kind of crossed some guy up, went by him, and pulled up for a jumper and went in. And by the time the ball went in the hoop, there was literally 5. There were 5 Bulls players standing there, and I think there might have been 2 Warriors players, including Harrison Barnes.
Yep.
And that was like in the first quarter. It was like 10-7. At that point,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know if that's a play they drew up. But you've got a confident group of players.
Yeah.
When it's 5-on-1,
And you're still pulling
and your
up.
man is pulling up and hitting a jumper. Like if you're the Bulls, right then and
Is
there.
Kerr back yet?
No, he's
Kind of in and out.
Yeah, I think he's trapped. Like he was
Yeah.
at the game in Chicago.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on the bench coaching.
Yeah.
So, but I think the Warriors are playing with a ton of confidence right now, and it's getting to a point. Now Draymond Green is just he's turning into a really good basketball player.
He's much better than I think anyone ever thought he would be.
And he's the type of guy. He was a little heavy at Michigan State.
Yep.
I don't think he got drafted too high, and he worked his tail off. And he's one of the few guys that earned his contract this offseason.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's like the backbone of that team, man. But you have nights where Curry goes 2 for 8 from 3-point land. Draymond Green steps up. Klay Thompson steps up. It's they're fun to watch. And if you guys So I was gonna say, if anyone listening has the chance to watch the Warriors, watch them, and they're gonna be on TV a lot because the NBA is doing a new thing this year. They're gonna do primetime, Saturday night primetime.
I saw that. Yeah.
On ABC. So I think for the last few years, I mean, I go back to the days when I was younger, NBA on NBC.
Yep.
Sunday afternoons.
Yep.
Michael Jordan. I do the theme song right now. Everybody knows it. but-
Yeah. No.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it went away for a little while. ABC brought it back,
Yep.
and I think they had double headers on Sunday afternoons.
1 and 3:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're doing Saturday night primetime starting this Saturday night, and then they're gonna not every Sunday, but do one afternoon Sunday
Yeah.
game. And just looking at these matchups, Bulls, Cavs, Spurs, Cavs, Thunder, Warriors, but then that's 3 weeks in a row of Warriors.
Yeah.
Thunder, Warriors, Warriors, Clippers, Warriors, Thunder.
Oof.
Bulls, a lot of Spurs. You have Warriors, Spurs. So take a look at the schedule. I suggest if you haven't watched basketball in a while and you are in on a Saturday night with your kids or whatever,
Throw it on.
check out ABC and check out the Warriors. I actually the Warriors and Spurs. I think they play this Monday night.
Yes. Yeah.
on NBA TV. I think I may purchase that game if I can, because you can purchase single games now.
Yeah.
I may pay money to watch that game, because that's going to be a hell of a game, because it's crazy, because the Warriors are like 37, 38 and 4, 39 and 4.
Spurs are only, 2 games back?
They're only 2 games back.
Yeah.
So the Spurs beat the Warriors. I mean, as good as the Warriors have played and how...
Here's what I think separates the Spurs and the Warriors. I think, and not good or bad either way, is I think the Warriors really want the 1 seed. The Spurs just want to be playing right at the right time.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely... I feel like they do that every year, right?
Yeah.
Popovich doesn't... like
Popovich might bench the big 3 on Monday.
He
might just not activate them all.
He might do that. That's crazy. It's amazing, though, because we're so lucky here in New England with the Patriots, and they've been doing this for 15 years. You look at the Spurs.
They've been just as good for that
Almost
same period of time.
Almost the same exact time frame. I think they started in 99 for
Yep,
the Spurs.
yep.
So they've been doing it longer than the Patriots. And I just think it's incredible. And that team is talented.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
You forget about Danny Green, who can
Yep.
step up now and then. Then add a LaMarcus Aldridge, and you got David West, who essentially took a $10 million pay cut
Just to go to San Antonio.
just to go to San Antonio for a year. Are you
How about
kidding
that?
me?
They said, hey, this is what we have, and if you want to take it, but if not, that's all we can give you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Spurs Warriors coming up. You know, I was thinking today too with the NFL, right? And you know, there's so much money in the NFL. So as much as people get hurt, the players get hurt. As much crime that happens with these players, like the NFL's not going away.
Nope.
And it's not going away because the money and the sponsors, right? So if you have 20 million people watching a Sunday night game, you're going to have sponsors who are paying money for ad time, because there are going to be a lot of people watching that, you know.
Yep.
So I got to thinking, like, could anybody ever, like, the only thing that could take the NFL down, right, is if the advertisers leave.
Yep.
And
That's your big money.
so, but what's the next best option, right? It's probably not baseball. I know you don't want to hear that. And it's like minute 40, and we just mentioned baseball for the first time. But is it, a basketball? I'm thinking the NBA, right?
Yep. Well, it's younger, and, you know, the kids like it more, and
Yeah.
it's more new age, if you will.
Yeah. It's almost more like you and I could go play basketball right now, but you
Yep.
and I can't go play football.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like, if the NFL were to eventually fall apart and dig its own grave, you know, where could, you know, it's going to be because the money's leaving the sport.
Yep.
No more, you know, advertisements are leaving, and I was just curious. The first league that popped into my head was NBA.
Well,
like
the other
NBA.
thing is the NBA is such a, you know, live. If you're at the game, it's such a easy take in, because, you know, you never have to worry about it being cold, too hot. You're
Yeah.
inside. You know, you're not near a rink, so it's, you know, it's always 70 degrees in there. So
Yeah.
you're not going to a, you know, football game in the middle of January that's minus 10 out. You know, or a baseball game in the middle of the summer in Miami where it's 110 out. You know, it's just enjoyable environment.
Yeah. The only thing, so
You don't have to worry about rain. You don't have to worry about snow.
are you into college basketball at all?
I do, yeah.
See, I'd like to get more into it, but like I would like to know about players when they get to the NBA. So
The problem is you don't. You can't now. Everyone's just leaving after a year. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
When we used to watch college basketball, they were there for 2-3 years.
back
you know?
when we were younger.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Now it's, hey, one and done. And I don't blame them. Who would want to push away 30, 40 million?
We get millions of dollars.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll leave college basketball alone. I couldn't even tell you who the number one team in the country is right now. I know UNC. I know North Carolina's good. I feel like North Carolina's been
Number
playing
one's
their ass off.
been in and out. You know, North Carolina lost. They were number one. Kansas lost. They were number one. Michigan State.
Yeah, Valentine
Yep.
got hurt for Michigan State.
Yep. Duke's
but he's
lost
back
3 in
now.
a row. So
I pick Duke every year to win the
it's not a bad
the
pick.
championship. So the NBA, right, and just basketball in general, it bugs me a little bit. And we were talking about this guy earlier off the air, James Harden.
Yep.
So James Harden.
Speaking of offense,
James Harden line last night in a loss at home to the Detroit Pistons, who right now, if the playoffs were to start, I don't think they would make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
They're sitting like right below the Celtics, I believe.
37 points, 17 rebounds, 14 assists. That's a pretty good line, right? Like that's a pretty good line for a shooting guard or a point guard, whatever, a hybrid guard.
Ball hog.
It's very clear that James Harden can produce offensively.
Yep.
You put him against Steph Curry. Steph Curry averages 30 points a game on 20 shots.
Yeah.
James Harden averages 30 points a game on 40 shots.
Yep.
And it's not that high, but it takes him 10 or 15 more shots a game than Steph Curry. And and especially where you're just so one-sided. I mean, we're not talking about, oh, I'm trying to play defense and he just got by me.
Yeah.
We're talking about not even trying.
He's
literally not trying.
He is so bad defensively.
Yeah.
Like you remember when Doc came to Boston and Pierce wasn't good defensively, but he got him to buy into it.
But even Pierce played sometimes when he had to.
Yeah, like so.
But I know what you're saying.
Even when Doc was here, he wasn't great defensively, but he can hold his. Like he gave a. Crap.
He could actually play it when he had to.
Yep.
James Harden
doesn't even bother.
He doesn't even run down the court.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, and I honestly think like if James Harden walked in, I feel like I feel like he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be a fun guy to hang out with. He's having fun.
Just want to grab his beer.
Yeah. Right? I feel like he's a goofy, fun guy. A really goofy, fun, rich guy. But I want to hate him.
Yeah.
But I don't. I blame the NBA. I blame today's culture in basketball because you don't, like everybody knows you need to play defense to win, but you've got to score to make money.
Don't you kind of feel now you know why the Thunder were willing to let him go?
Trade
him, I should say.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I just I asked myself, would I want James Harden on the Celtics? My answer is no.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want a guy like that on the Celtics because you look at the Rockets and I don't know. I'm trying.
You think he intoxicates everyone else?
Like I've seen like Trevor Ariza on the Rockets. I've seen Harden not play defense, and then Ariza has to slide over, and he's late, so the guy gets a layup, and I see him turn around with his palms to the sky.
Saying, come on, give me a little help here.
Yeah, and I just feel like maybe, and I don't know if Harden is the type of guy who cares how he's affecting his teammates. Like, I don't know. I feel like all NBA players are kind of in it for themselves. Like, it's really tough to build that team chemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
I will say this. I watched the Knicks and the Bucks last night at MSG. Game went into overtime. Gordon Hayward Knicks and the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And Gordon Hayward for the Utah Jazz pump faked Porzingis.
Yeah.
Got fouled, 3 shots, hit all 3 to tie the game, sent it into overtime. There were like 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
Not a big Derek Fisher fan. I don't think he has a clue what's going on the sideline.
Yeah.
But I will say the bench on the Knicks and the camaraderie those guys had, like you even had Carmelo Anthony giving fist pumps when someone else scored.
Really?
So I'm not saying the Knicks are going to win the championship, but
they're trending in the right direction.
MSG was in it.
Yep.
They were live. The crowd was loud.
Yep.
And the bench was jumping through the roof. And it struck me as a team that the guys like each other.
Yep.
And I think that goes, we can debate chemistry until the cows come home. But I feel like keep an eye on the Knicks. And I don't even know where they are in the standings.
They're right behind the Celtics.
Are they really?
They're like, the Celtics are 22-21. The Knicks are like 21-22.
I'm still not a Anthony fan. I think he needs another guy. I hope Porzingis is that guy for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched him play at all. Porzingis.
Yes, and he's a lot better than anyone ever thought he was.
Yeah,
but the problem is you didn't know because he didn't play college basketball. He was a foreign guy.
He's very young.
Yeah.
And he's got to put on a little bit more size and but I just an observation. The Utah and the thing about that game was the Utah was up big, and New York came back.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's like a Wednesday night.
You wouldn't expect a big atmosphere.
Playing the Utah Jazz, and it had a playoff-like feel. And I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know. It's just something about the game caught my eye, and because the night before I watched the Cavaliers play Brooklyn.
Yep.
In Brooklyn, and I just got the feel watching the Cavaliers that it was like they were walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
And everyone's afraid to do something they're not supposed to, and it was very robotic, and it wasn't like entertaining. And I was just, it got completely different vibes watching the
Cavs. Atmospheres. The Nets, which are heading down, and the Knicks that seem like they're heading up.
Yeah. But the Cavs. I'm talking about the Cavs. I don't think they. I don't know. I just feel like something's missing with the Cavs, and I was just having watched it on back-to-back nights. I get the vibe. When you have the best player in the NBA, supposedly, arguably, screw it, he's the best player.
Yeah.
LeBron James. Like you can't. How are you losing by 43 points on your home court? How do you
have some pride?
Like I want to look back and check out Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And see if his team
I'd be willing to bet he never lost a game by 40.
Wizards probably the last year or two.
But he wasn't Michael Jordan.
No.
That Michael Jordan.
He was Michael. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Wizard Michael Jordan. But I want to know if he was ever at a point where, like, how are you going to lose by 40-something points on your home court?
And it wasn't like a late 40 points. Like, they were up 40 at, like, half. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they were up 15, 20, and then they kind of just took away. It was ugly from the beginning.
Yeah. And LeBron James ended up playing more minutes that game than Curry.
Really?
That's the weird thing. Like, I don't know. It's just you either take over and be the man, or you sit back and try to get people. And is it gonna think long term too?
Yeah.
Is it better for the Cavs to get crushed like that with LeBron trying to get everybody involved, or is it more beneficial for him to take over?
Yeah.
And win that game, so they're going to be more dependent and reliant on him come finals again?
That's one of the reasons why he left Miami, is because he was so dependent. They were so dependent on him. Dwayne Wade's getting a little older. Bosh was hurt.
Yeah.
And he was doing everything, and he had no support.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening last year, everyone gets hurt and he has no support. He's got to do everything again.
Just going back to Brooklyn real quick too. I read an article. I don't know if you saw it online.
Yeah.
Their practice facility is still in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah. So it was a really interesting article because they Jordan Iannuzzi.
Yep.
Remember Jordan from Winnick?
Yep.
He does something with the Brooklyn Nets. So I was on LinkedIn and he posted something. But the Nets have a brand new practice facility.
Yep.
Opening up in, this is crazy, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But the article talked about how since they moved to Brooklyn, the offices, team offices, like the GM's office and whoever else, it's all still in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the commute from like the practice facility to the actual
Brooklyn
Barclays Center. It could take up to like 2 hours sometimes because
really?
of traffic.
Oh my goodness.
So they're just talking about, and this new facility, go check it out online. It's I don't know what floor it's on, but it's got a beautiful view. Two basketball courts, beautiful view of New York City.
Yeah.
It's got like all these amenities and workout rooms. Like, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
You can actually rent it out. I'm curious to know how much it costs. It's not opening.
For like a birthday party or something?
I don't know if it's opening next. It's opening soon. I don't think it's officially open. But they were talking about how it doesn't get talked about much, but how that's a big selling point for these guys are the practice facilities.
Yeah.
And Flip Saunders was quoted as to saying, absolutely, these guys, they want to, because these guys, most of the guys are family guys, right?
Yeah.
And would you rather live in New Jersey an hour or 2 hours away, or live in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Because I think
and then you're an hour from the practice facility.
Yeah. So it's Thaddeus Young, who's been on Brooklyn a year maybe. He was with Brooklyn, left, and came back, signed a 4-year deal. He's the only player in Brooklyn right now who lives in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah. It was just crazy because the Nets I think are a
look
mess.
at these NFL guys, and the Patriots are different because they have their practice facility right behind Gillette, but a lot of them are off So the only day they're at the stadium is Sunday. Their practice facilities are in different towns. So really, you're going to the practice facility Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I think they stay together as a team Saturday night, whether you're home or away, and then you go to the stadium on Sunday, and that's the only time you're there.
Yeah.
Then you leave, and you're at the practice facility the next day.
Yeah.
I was reading something. The Barclays Center is struggling.
Really?
Yeah, they're losing a lot of money there. I know they bringing in the Islanders has not been the best idea, I guess.
Well, that's weird. Hockey hasn't boosted revenue.
Yeah. It was actually more. I read the article I read. It was more fascinating about how it's not. Some stadiums, it's not about the amount of events you host, but how you do with those certain events.
Oh, really?
So, like, you take a football stadium, like you don't have to host an event every. Like, they do concerts and stuff. You don't have to host a ton of those as long as you kill it on those 8, 10.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I just envisioned you pack that.
Well,
house
and
back
that's what they're struggling with the Barclays Center is they're just trying to bring in everything, concerts.
Wrestling
Disney
is there
on
like
Ice.
every 3 months. Like
Yeah.
there's some pay-per-view or something from Barclays Center.
And I think with the costs of everything just end up building up each night, whether it be staff and food and stuff like that. It was actually very interesting. And yeah, they were talking about how basically the Islanders are taking up dates that could be used for other
really?
events. Like they're like an NHL, like a Saturday night. They're like, we could have a Jay-Z concert here, and the Islanders are, let's say there's 17,000 seats. They're bringing in 10,000 people or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the struggle because you get them into these leases and then they don't sell out, and then you're like, ooh, I could put something on a Saturday night. You can put something, anything,
Yeah.
WWE, Disney on Ice, whatever it is. So
Yeah, that's interesting. This and you were communication.
yeah,
So I was sport management. So it's all coming up almost 10 years, which is nuts from graduating from Winnick. But you forget the business behind
Yeah.
the business, and it's interesting. But we're closing out the podcast.
What else did you have on your list?
We covered it.
We
all.
covered it all.
We covered it all. The only other thing I had was nope. Oh, I have some stats. Brady 4-1 when throwing for 50+ passes.
Really?
I think this is just in the playoffs. I didn't want to come out and say it because I wasn't sure. I heard it on the radio.
Yep.
Tom Brady 4-1 when throwing for 50+ passes in a game. Rest of the league only has 3 wins total. I think they're like 3-29 or something.
Really?
And I may have just pulled that number out of my ass.
Yeah.
I think that's only in the playoffs, which is insane that Tom Brady has more wins.
I think it's simple. It comes down to something as simple as
Final thoughts on Patriots.
Well,
back on the sun.
in regards to that, I think it becomes something as simple as you try and do in every sport is you want the ball in your best player's hands.
How?
And
Is it as simple as that?
And
it's as simple as that.
I don't understand. He does it all the time, and I just want to punch the TV. Like, you'll watch, like, the Packers, and the first thing, like, in the halftime after the interview, Mike, Coach McCarthy, what do you need to do? We need to establish the run. No, you don't. You need to give the ball to Aaron Rodgers, and you need him to make plays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like, like Michael Jordan. Hey, we need him to distribute the ball more. No, you need to shoot it.
Yeah.
You need him to shoot it. You need him to score.
We need everyone to stay out of his
Yeah,
way.
and I think that's one of the great things about, Belichick is they can say, all right, we're going to ignore the run because guess what? Our best players aren't running backs.
Yeah.
And if they were, we would run the ball. And I think in the Broncos case, you can sit there now and say, all right, maybe the best player isn't our quarterback. I feel like people overthink it. It's not that hard. Put the ball in your best player's hands and throw it to your best players.
I'm going to end this podcast on my side by just saying my mindset heading into this game is confused. I'm confused.
Yep.
I'm not afraid. I'm not nervous. I'm just confused because the Patriots. Okay, so I said my fear earlier in the game was Osweiler coming in. A part of me hopes that Osweiler does come in and take over for Manning. That way, if the Patriots lose, it's
you can
not
say it was
Manning.
yeah.
It's Osweiler. Thank God it's
Yeah.
not Manning. I don't want Manning to get credit for getting to the Super Bowl.
As long as they win, he's going to get credit.
But I don't want that. The other thing, my other concern is them running the ball rushing for 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
But when you rush the ball, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Pats offense doesn't click, the Broncos' time of possession, they're going to own the ball, and the Pats just aren't going to have enough time to score. And I don't know. It's just I'm confused.
I still don't know how good the Patriots defense is.
Is Jamie Collins hurt, or is he good?
Everyone's been practicing.
They haven't practiced, though. It's
I
all
guess they went full
walkthroughs.
pads today.
They went full pads today?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Well,
But
I take that back then. I retract my statement.
The more I think about it, as the week goes on, you're telling me you can't sit here and say that for 1 week, for 4 hours, 3.5 hours, 60 minutes of football time, you're not a little scared that Peyton Manning could bring it back?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, to old Peyton Manning.
No.
No?
To me, he's not. No. Peyton Manning, to me, will not. There's zero chance that he will win this game.
Okay.
If they get it, if the Patriots go up 21-3,
Yep.
14-0, to me, the game's over.
Okay.
I'm serious.
And that's what's worse for the Patriots' advantage is they have the ability. So if you're the Broncos and you get down big early, you're in a lot of trouble. Where the Patriots, you're sitting there saying, "All right, we're not in good shape, but we can figure this out."
Yeah. The Denver thing.
And if you're the Patriots and you're up 14-0, and they're going to run the ball, you're saying, "Okay, take 10 minutes to go down the field."
Yeah.
And I feel that's when the Chiefs last week, when they got up 14-3, 21-6, 9. That's why I feel like I never felt threatened, because the Patriots saying, "All right, you want to go down the field? Take 10 minutes and do it."
Yeah.
And even on the drive they scored their touchdown, it took like 9 minutes, and you looked up and there was 4 minutes left in the game.
Adam was freaking out over the game, and I'm like, Adam, the game's over. I'm like, it's taking them
forever
8 minutes
to go.
kick a field goal. I'm
And then
like, they're down 2 touchdowns.
Did you hear so they were huddling up with a minute left. Clock's running. They have 3 timeouts.
down 2 touchdowns.
Down 2 touchdowns. So they end up scoring. Patriots get the onside kick. They get a first down. And it's over. They asked the offensive coordinator, because he became the Eagles head coach after the game. And you know why he said they were huddling up?
No.
He said they were huddling up because they didn't want to give Brady too much time.
Shut up.
Yeah. And they're like, "You were down 2 touchdowns." Yeah.
Philadelphia media.
You know what? The Eagles owner's like, "Oh, my God, what are we doing?"
A quick follow-up, too. Bill Belichick is not the new coach of the New York Giants. So
Yep.
Completely off. I was wrong, so wrong on that. But
It was funny.
That was a hot take that day.
The days crept by, the hours crept by. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's not going to be here anymore. He's definitely leaving. They're going to lose on Saturday. This is the last time we're ever going to see him here."
And McAdoo.
Yeah.
We don't know who the heck McAdoo is, but good luck,
their
bud.
offensive
I almost
coordinator.
feel like Tom Coughlin, right? Like, you don't really want to be the guy
Yeah.
to replace the guy. You want to be the guy to replace the guy that
replaced the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, like Winnick baseball.
Don't you feel like a lot of time it's timing?
Yeah.
So I mean, looking, let's just say, for argument's sake, the Patriots missed the playoffs, then it would be more of a shot.
Yeah.
Where if you're going to the AFC Championship game, not necessarily just time, because everyone's making decisions so quick. You don't want to wait, because if you wait till after the Super Bowl, what if Belichick says, "No, I don't want the job"?
How about this? I'll put it this way: if Bill Belichick, the Patriots season ends, whether they win or lose the Super Bowl, and he called up the Giants and said, "I want to be your coach," he will be the coach of the Giants. Whoever they just hired, this McAdoo guy, we'll pay you.
Who'd that happen to? I don't know if it was an NFL team. I want to say it was an NBA team where they hired someone and then
Billy Donovan got hired by the Orlando Magic, but then he left on his own.
Someone big, they hired someone and then they fired him because they hired someone big, like a big name, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, this is an opportunity." I can't remember who it was. I'm gonna think about that.
I know it happens. Like Jason Kidd left the Brooklyn Nets to go coach the Bucks, and there was talking about it on the news. It was all reports, and the Bucks had a coach.
Yeah.
The guy's like,
what am I doing here,
I'm
guys?
still here,
Yeah.
All right. Hit the 60-minute mark. Good talking.
Good talk.
We'll catch you next week.
Do you have a final score? I'll say 27-23.
I'm going to go 45-13.
Wow. Holy shnikes.
Nope. I'm going to go Patriots 45, and I'm going to go Broncos 14. They'll get 2 touchdowns. Or maybe 13, they'll go for 2 because they're stupid. I honestly, my gut of guts says the Patriots all business, and they're on a mission.
Well, one thing, after they lost that game on Sunday, that Sunday night game, I think they were pissed. I think they were really pissed when they lost that game. Whether it be Gronk getting hurt, a couple of penalties, they were pissed.
This is a trip to the Super Bowl. This is Brady Manning. This is Belichick and Brady sticking a nail in Manning's coffin.
Yep.
And it's going to happen, and it's going to be ugly.
Oh, you're out for blood.
I want blood. I want blood Sunday. I want vicious, unrelentless, like, freaking 4th and 2, go for it.
Yeah.
Do not run the ball. I want 45-8, 45-14, whatever the hell I said. 45-13.
I think it's 13. Yeah.
It's 45 to something. I want Darrelle Revis to be at home watching, freaking eating his ice cream and eating his bonbons.
I could have been a part of this.
Yep. I want Talib, or whatever the hell the guy's name is. Talib. Kweli. What the hell's the guy's name?
Aqib Talib, yeah.
Tawili. I want everyone to just suck it. I want everyone to suck it. That's my last word. So
that was good.
Thanks. I need a vicious beatdown. I need a Colts AFC Championship. I need that. What was it? 45-7.
You need one of those.
I need that.
Hopefully fully inflated footballs though.
I want them to run a tribute on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter. Peyton, thank you for your time. I want the Denver fans to leave early, and I want to go home happy. So that's all I got.
Sounds good, man.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, see ya.